What is your biggest professional triumph, Teddy? And again, it can be more than one, personal or professional, maybe musical. Taking on a big piece or whatever. I don't want to answer it for you.
Well, in a more traditional sense, the Muhammad Ali piece that I worked on for
we'll talk about
a long time, and we premiered here last season. For me, that's the first time that I ever wrote a piece on that scale. Or wrote, not just wrote a piece of music, but did anything, anything creative on that scale. The output, whether you look at it in terms of the pages or the amount of time it takes to listen to it, it was just a lot of creative work that I put out there. And I didn't realize how much of a part of yourself it gets transferred over into your work when it's that massive. And also how much you're putting yourself on the line. You really expose who you are in a situation like that. You're asking people to share in yourself for quite a long amount of time, for a 90-minute thing. And so that, for me, the fact that actually worked, I was deeply grateful that it didn't crash and burn, because whenever you do anything big, it can crash and burn. And I was very, it was a humbling experience to see everybody give so much to something that you dreamed up. So that, for me, stands out as a particularly special moment. Now,
were you working on that at the time of Muhammad Ali's passing?
I had already started it before he died.
That's what I thought. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, so Mayor Fisher had actually suggested the idea. It came in a programming meeting, which I find already pretty amazing that Mayor Fisher would be sitting in on a discussion about Louisville Orchestra programs. I would say name another mayor of a large American city that would ever even care what an orchestra is doing, much less actually talk about the program. So we were talking about this because I had this idea. I said, I want to write a short 12-minute piece about an American hero. And so I said, can we get to Obama? Let's get Obama. He can come narrate his own piece. That would be really fun. He'll narrate his own speeches, and I'll have written the music for it. And Mayor Fisher said, well, that's a great idea, but why don't we start with a Louisville hero? Let's start with somebody from Louisville. We got like the most famous person of the 20th century right from here.
Right.
So let's do something about Muhammad Ali. What do you think? And actually, of course, that makes even more sense now. I can do Obama later. Right. And so I started thinking about the piece and conceiving it and doing my research, and then he passed. So we were already planning to do this. This was not part of the celebration of his life. This was actually before. And we had hoped originally that he would be able to participate in it, even in a very limited way. Sure. And it's only when he died, though, that I recognized the impact. Watching the preparations for the funeral, watching just the people descend before there was anything even planned, watching them descend on the Ali Center, because they treated it like it was like a shrine almost, or a memorial. They just needed to feel close to him, because that impact was, you can't even calculate it. That's when I realized this was not going to be a short piece. It had to be a big piece. Muhammad Ali would have wanted it to be a big piece. And Lonnie and I talked about it, and I told her after the piece was done, I said, there was no way that was going to be a 12-minute piece. And she just laughed and said, of course, Muhammad Ali, he said, Muhammad would never have wanted this to be he couldn't have shared the program with other pieces. It had to be a 90-minute piece.
Yes.
Yeah, which I liked.
Amazing.
I like that.
And we'll show a picture of it later, but the album's Float, Rumble, Rest, is that right?
And that's a track from it. Yeah, the whole piece ended up being, it's called The Greatest. Okay. And the Float, Rumble, Rest track is a section that comes at the end of the piece. Okay. And in the version with the orchestra, there's a rap on top of it. It's part of a whole build-up that has been chugging along for quite some time.
That's amazing.